Welcome to Vehicle Overview, a place where we would review a vehicle in the shortest way possible and show you what the vehicle is capable of. Today's vehicle is the 𝐒𝐔-25BM, a rank 7 event reward vehicle sitting at the battle rating 11.3, with one of the most anticipated air-to-air missiles in the game, the R-73. According to Gaijin, the 𝐒𝐔-25BM 558 ARZ strike aircraft is in fact a modernized Su-25 in service with the air forces of Kazakhstan. Anyways, welcome to the Armor and Modular Protection Analysis, where we basically analyze the armors and modules inside of a vehicle. Today's aircraft is the Su-25BM. As always, the first thing that we need to take a look at is the crew. The crew has CCIP on all of its weapons, including bombs, rockets, and cannons, with a fully modeled cockpit with 3 MFDs, able to show RWR, aircraft flight systems, GPS, and camera systems. It has 2 types of camera system, which includes the color TV and laser camera for your guided munitions. The TV one has a very nice zoom. However, it cannot lock targets at night or behind clouds, while the laser one has a really limited zoom. This camera system does not include any type of thermals or night vision devices. Now, unlike the Su-39, this vehicle does not have any IRCM, no Mercury camera pod, nor the 𝐒𝐔-25 radar system, and it does not have Vickers missiles either. What it does have is a radar warning receiver, 2 more guided FAB-500s than the Su-39, 250 countermeasures, more countermeasures than the 192 the Su-39 had, I guess, and last but not least, a modernized cockpit, which if you look at your rear when you're in the Su-25BM, you will realize the problem. Thanks to my friend Flogger for telling me this. My god, there's a Berlin Wall here, Jesus! It has 4 self-sealing fuel tanks compared to Su-39's 5 self-sealing fuel tanks, with 10 to 11 minutes less fuel, with the possibility of adding 2 additional fuel tanks with these fuel presets. Generally speaking, you really don't have to worry about fuel tanks in most of the Su-25s and Su-39s. And even if you're set on fire on the fuel tanks, I'm sure that the fire extinguisher will be your good friend, since this plane does in fact have fire extinguishers. It has 2 UMPA R95SH engines, same engines that were installed on the Su-25 and the export variant. Compared to the Su-39's UMPA R195 engines, these guys overheat much less, but are in fact less powerful, around 400 or 300 less takeoff thrust. But hey, at least your engine temperature does not lit up like a Christmas tree every time you go full power mode. I'm looking at you, J21. And last but not least, you have the oil cooling system, traction of the control surfaces, and spars. And as I've said, this vehicle does not have any radar. Now let's get on with the armaments that it carries. The Su-25 has a wide variety of armaments, including laser and TV-guided munitions, bombs, rockets with various sizes, and of course, air-to-air missiles, which include R-60Ms and R-73s, one of the top dog missiles out there. Let's start with the unguided bombs. The Su-25BM can carry up to 32 FAB-100s, 8 FAB-250s, and 8 FAB-500s. There are also versions of these bombs available on this aircraft, except for the FAB-100s. You can also carry up to 8 napalm bombs on this aircraft. Now let's have a look at the unguided rockets. The Su-25BM can carry 256 S-5K rockets, up to 160 S-8KOs, 40 S-13OFs, 8 S-24Bs, and last but not least, 8 S-25Os. There are also laser-guided versions of the S-25s, called S-25L, 4 installed on this aircraft. Just, basically glorified APKW S-2s. Up next is the guided munitions. This aircraft can carry 4 laser-guided KH-25ML, 2 TV-guided oversized KH-29T and its laser-guided version, the KH-29L, and as I've said before, the Su-25BM can carry 4 FAB-500 KRs. while the Su-39 can only carry 2. Also, one thing that I've noticed during my research on my armament section, apparently this vehicle can also carry 4 laser-guided 𝐒𝐔-25s, but this is not shown in the armament section. I mean, most of the Su-25s can actually carry it, but they're not shown on the armaments tab somehow. You can even see it on the module grind as well. It's probably so useless and overshadowed by the 𝐒𝐔-25ML that, you know, Gaijin probably forgot to do anything with it. This is probably a bug, and I'll report it to Gaijin pretty soon. Now let's get on with the air-to-air ordnances. This vehicle has a nose-mounted GSH-30-2 with the possibility of adding 4 GSH-23 cannon pods. The Su-25BM can not only carry R-60Ms, which you will get them when you're stock, but also one of the most anticipated missiles in the game, the R-73.
The R-73 is a missile that is made by the hand of God, unflareable by skill issue, and is even better than the quote-unquote sarcasm.
Okay, so here's the thing about the R-73s. This air-to-air missile was implemented on an Su-25 platform for Gaijin to test waters for future aircrafts that were capable of mounting it, such as Su-39s, Su-25Ts, MiG-29s, etc. And if you haven't noticed by the lack of radar, upgraded engines, and its armaments already, this is basically an Su-25 that is a bit modernized, and the only reason it's on 11.3, it is just because of the R-73s. And it has to compete against top-tier jets in Air RB, which we will get into a bit later. Now, I wasn't in the dev server when the R-73 was added, but I remember a lot of people losing their crap due to how flare-resistant this missile was. But the R-73 right now, as of this video's production, is just an IR missile with thrust vectoring and 40 GPOL, and it's like, I just simply love how the ECCM on this thing does not even exist anymore.
Fire. My missile's turning around. Oh my god! Bob!
The missile has had a very long day of splashing bandits and wants to take just a small sleep.
Yeah. This was the main selling point of this aircraft. And still, Gaijin might change a lot of things regarding this missile, because launching this from a ground attacker platform is still quite different from something like MiG-29 with helmet-mounted display. Overall, as of now, I don't think this missile is game-breaking or anything. However, I want to give you a pro tip that will be useful for you when you fight against R-73s or, you know, AIM-9Ls or any type of IR missile. If someone fired an air-to-air missile at you, cut your afterburner! You know, sometimes when IR missile seems to ignore flares because you didn't cut your afterburner no matter how many flares you sent off, even after you cut your afterburner. Yeah, if R-73 gets into that kind of shenanigan, whew, good luck. Welcome to Air Realistic Battles, a place where famous supersonic jet fighters such as F-14s, MiG-29s, and F-16s dominate the battlefield, where speed, reaction time, knowledge, maneuverability, and nice armaments are your keys that will lead you towards victory. The Su-25BM has almost none of it. Let's start with the flight model. As a subsonic ground attacker, you really can't go fast. You can't turn that much, and your ailerons behave a bit weird. They respond pretty well when you normally use them, but when you mix them with elevators, they respond pretty badly. Other than that, your Su-25 will go faster beyond its airframe limit, so don't go AFK, or else you will lose your wings, or a Phoenix missile will sandwich you. And speaking of losing your wings, the Su-25 rips wings quite badly if you're not careful. Having armaments under your wings does not help the situation either, so be careful about that. Generally, using the R-73 needs some sort of knowledge regarding when and how to use it. Sometimes the match is already decided, and either you have a bad match or a glorious one. When you have a bad match, you will die. When you have a good match, depending on what type of player you are, you either get multiple air kills or obliterate ground units. Depending on how you play, you either go totally naked by taking the R-73 and R-60s, Or you would go out and mount 4 air-to-ground missiles with 2 rocket pods and start ground pounding when you're sure that the enemy team is almost obliterated and no one is going to shoot you down. Honestly, it depends on you, and personally I would like to use this as a ground attacker in RRB, and even if I wanted to kill planes, I have much better options. Now this plane might suck in RRB, how does it perform in ground realistic? When it comes to ground realistic, this vehicle is pretty nice. There are a lot of armaments at your disposal. However, there are some limitations towards your aircraft. As I said, this is an 𝐒𝐔-25 in high tiers, meaning that you're going to face up against SPAAs more dangerous than before. No, not this one, that's a friendly. But hey, it's not like the 𝐒𝐔-25 is going to die anytime soon, as your damage model is still as cracked as before. You can use guided bombs or guided missiles, 𝐒-25 rockets, and even use R-73 for some air-to-air kills. All you need is just enough SP to spawn with. To be honest, the 𝐒-25Os felt much more comfortable to me, and overall it just feels much better to take the TV guided munitions since they have a much better zoom compared to the laser guided ones. At the end, is this vehicle worth the grind or not? Should I keep it or should I sell it? Now it depends on you. Do you have the MiG-27s or any other 𝐒-25 platforms? If your answer is yes, then make this thing into a sellable coupon and send it into Gaijin Market. And the reason why is that this thing only has R-73s and nothing else, and even in RRB it makes your grind even worse. And speaking of grind, it's not a premium. It has nothing special to it. It's just another vehicle to have, and let me remind you that you have to stock grind every single module as well. To me personally, it does not worth the pain, and I'm selling it so I could get something better. At the end, it's your choice. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, dislike it if you dislike it. This is me, Bob Dickinson, signing out.